Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. I'm Alexandria, and this is going to be a video that we're going to talk about moving overseas. It's something that I think will be super helpful for couples as they're a little apprehensive about moving, not understanding like what those little things that come up in daily life would be. Please have a pencil and pen or just your notes open so that you can just jot down a couple things that you may have like a brain, like the little light bulb about when it comes to some of these things. And then put in the comments if you are able to think of more things to help other military couples out as they make this big transition. This is specifically geared for those that may be going overseas, like I said before, specifically for Germany. I know that right now we're in a time where PCSing and moving plans have been halted. However, I hope that this can give you some sort of organizational method towards thinking about what you're going to be doing and what you need to do in order to make your process a little bit smoother. I hope that this can help some of you guys out. So let's just get right to it. First thing I would say that you would need to think about and just do, I literally have a note here that says just do it, is to get your driver's license. I am 25 years old. I am from a big city that everyone knows, and it just meant that I relied heavily on the subway. It was not an option to do it in Germany. It's a way more extensive process that involves taking physical tests and also taking written tests. Part of it is answering questions, and because I'm over, I think 16 or whatever, me getting my license meant that I didn't have to do as much work. So I didn't have to take the classes portion of it. I just had to actively drive, just putting in my hours with the school that I use and also on my own. And I had a bunch of time to do that, so it was good for me. For Germany specifically, get your license so that you can come here. I think you take a test, you get that license for Germany, and then if you consider traveling and we're right by a bunch of different places, you have the opportunity to just drive there. Just get your license beforehand. Another thing you need to do is research the area you're living in. So for Ramstein, there are a bunch of little towns and villages around it. The food that's around. Are there any castles? Because Germany is well known for its castles, which is so exciting. But are there any castles? Are there any landmarks? Know that stuff. At the end of the day, this is where you're going to be living. There are just so many things to do, like within your area, that you might not even know about. Another thing to consider is considering the time of year that you're moving. So I moved in July. I wish I knew about all of the wine festivals that happened in this area. There's Oktoberfest, which I was very keen to. We did it. We went. Germany celebrates so much. I love this country for the fact that it celebrates as much as it can and just enjoys life in that aspect. So another thing is to schedule time between your work and when you're moving, or any other events that you have going on while you're still home. So if you're home and you're like, I'm moving in this amount of time, and obviously, sometimes it's like, boom, you're moving and now you have to just figure it out. In general, just be aware how hard it is to actually put all of your boxes. Like, it is very difficult. And then to get all of your other stuff in order, your family's freaking out, your best friends are freaking out. It's just a lot. Be honest with yourself about how much time you'll need. You'll need a lot more than you expect. That's that. Next is which relates to that, collect boxes over time. Post offices are always crowded when you literally need them the most. Anytime I needed to go to the post office, it could have been 8 o'clock in the morning. As soon as it opened, there was a line. Why? We don't know. But that's just the way the post office has worked for me. Raise your hands if you have that experience. So get your boxes, check the prices, and just do what you need to do in that respect. It will save you oh my gosh, it will save you just so much. And also, if you're relying on people for driving, you can ask them to help you with those larger boxes. And if you do it beforehand, that means that you won't have to worry about your guys' scheduling anytime later when it gets closer to the time you're leaving. It ends up giving you less of a headache, and the people you may be relying on as well. Okay, and then applying to jobs ASAP. It is a beast. I'm still applying to this day, and I will keep applying until I get something. Now it's like a rumble between me and usajobs.gov. It's not ending, and I'm not gonna let it win. So yeah. I also went to other places and had just put my head in the door and said, hey, like, I'm Alexandria, I'm here and this is my experience, and are y'all gonna be offering volunteering opportunities? I'm very down for that. I love like just to be useful, and so I was down immediately to do volunteer work. I might do a whole different video on applying to jobs, thinking about your job, and like just the overall mindset of like maybe having to change positions, definitely getting a pay cut. These are things you're gonna need to consider. If you're interested in that, just comment below. Print out fresh copies of your resume. When you get here, you're probably gonna wanna take that move to the Family Readiness Center or whatever that is for any other branches. You're gonna wanna have those physical copies. You're gonna want to just be able to be like, tell me what's wrong with it. Just have that in your bag and figure out beforehand maybe things that you can touch up on it, or just so you make it nice and clean and presentable to the member of the Family Readiness Center. They're obviously going to give you some pointers as well, maybe make their own edits, but just put your best foot forward and let them know that you're serious about, you know, getting a job and that you're actively trying and looking up ways to improve your resume and get yourself out there. The woman I spoke with was very nice. She told me about some insider tricks and just things to look out for. She gave me some tips on my resume. I did have something wrong with it that was just super obvious, so that is something really important to have. I think I had about 5 copies of my resume in a folder that I kept close to my chest at the beginning when I got here. And you can connect with others on Facebook. And I don't mean just like connect with random people. I mean like the groups, your squadron, your husband's squadron, your wife's squadron. Get in touch with these people and figure out, you know, what's the norms? What are the norms of base? What are the norms of working? What are the norms of daily life in Germany, in this area that is like way more secluded from major big cities than you thought? In any case, you're just gonna wanna know those norms that are happening, that are out there. What is life like? What's food like? Where can I shop? I just now figured out a cool shopping outlet. I wish I knew about it before, so yeah. Get to know the spouses. They're super nice, the ones that I've met, and there's a group for my squadron and they're just all so cohesive and happy and real and humble. So another thing, which is more technical, is to check your cell phone providers for anything that will be vital for your move internationally. Before we moved, like a year before, we had Verizon. He had Verizon and I had Sprint. And so I switched over to T-Mobile and he switched over to T-Mobile as well. They were offering a military specific plan. Obviously after that, Verizon rolled out with theirs, and I think AT&T did as well. But basically it cut my bill down $50 from what I was paying before with Sprint. And it also just allowed us to have a cheaper plan overall with the added benefit of having international service. So it was very, very great. It's something that you might not even think about, but it's something that will pop up right when you try to use your phone overseas. Another thing is to check out any cellular plans that they have or service plans that they have here in Germany or in Europe specifically, and see which ones work out for you. The apartment hunt. The apartment hunt honestly was the most stressful part of everything. So I'm just gonna move to my kitchen table because we're getting serious. This is the apartment hunt, and I'm sorry for the lighting. Probably just gonna sit right here. This apartment hunt was very interesting. It was a long, arduous process. We used 3 sources to find our apartment. It's Find It Guide, Kaiserslautern American, and Buku. I found that I liked Buku a lot more. I feel like there were so many more options, and I liked the way they listed everything. And I actually ended up emailing someone or messaging them through the Find It Guide app, and it didn't really lead to anything. But it was obviously a good source because I ended up emailing someone, so whatever. But they have tons and tons of apartments and stuff. People are constantly updating it and putting in information. So I just copied and pasted messages that I had formerly sent to other landlords or people I was just corresponding with. By doing that, it just takes less stress off of thinking about what to say for each different email. And it also made sure I covered all the points I needed to cover in each one. In the end, I think we got our apartment off of Buku. And it was honestly just luck, I think. There was really no reason for us to expect it. It was just a bunch of no's all over the board. And so this one just stuck and it was great. We have a great apartment. I was really excited about, I still am, but I was at the time. When you're apartment hunting, do not get stressed. I say to lessen that, make a list of all the things that you want. So backyard, open spaces. We wanted a 4-bedroom. We would settle for 3 and we got the 4. We used 1 for the office, 1 for our master bed, 1 for a closet, and 1 for an actual second room, like a guest room. Another thing to consider before I forget is whether you want gas, electric, or oil in your apartment. We opted for gas with a high preference for electricity. We obviously didn't get the electricity. It's kind of like rare unless the apartment is pretty new. And because we were working with a budget, electric apartments just seem to have high rents and it was out of our budget. We just wanted to avoid oil because that's kind of new territory we don't really need to venture into. If you're okay with it, that means you have 3 different options right there. Putting oil into your home is manual. We didn't want to deal with that every month or however often it is. It just was another thing we didn't want to keep track of while we were here. The last thing, and the thing that will make your life so much fun, and it's also kind of adulty for my younger spouses and military couples, is credit cards. And these are premium credit cards. We got the Amex Platinum card. I did have it in my mind that I was gonna be here, so it was just an added bonus to be able to have this card that collects points, give you hotel status and stuff like that. Another card that we got was a Chase Sapphire Reserve card. It is also great. We've used it a lot. It just became our go-to card when we got here, obviously to reach the minimum, but obviously just because it was transaction fee free, and I think the Amex is as well. Just do your research on the cards. It will do you wonders to keep up with that type of thing, especially if you're gonna be traveling a lot, and to have hotel status and to acquire points and use them towards the things that make you so happy. And one of the reasons why you came here is a great benefit. So that, I think, concludes this video. Let me check. Yep, we're blank. Please let me know in the comments if you want me to talk more about some of the things that I pointed out. I will get to it. If there's anything else you can think of, please offer it in the comments as well to other spouses who may stop by this video. It will help them a lot, and it might be stuff that I didn't have an experience with, so that is even better. Please do that. Until next time, bye. It's Alexandria. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be, I don't like that. Okay. I said coffee will help, but no.